Angry guy here, and today we're discussing why women need to understand that the wall starts at 25 as men become passport bros. Women need to understand that the wall starts at 25 as men become passport bros. A lot of guys aren't putting up with the nonsense anymore. A lot of guys have said, you know what, I've had enough, and that's it. Women need to get their expectations in check. As you can see from the video that we're going to be looking at today from Modern Women Archive, as women are beginning to hit the wall, many of them are beginning to admit that their expectations are too high. They're not going to marry. They're not going to marry Chad Roan, all right? They're not going to marry the NBA player of their dreams. Guys, I've said it countless times, and I'll say it again. The ideal man for these women is an NBA player, all right? These women want a tall black man with a long black dick. Some of y'all are going to say, angry, that's disrespectful, blah, blah. No, it's not. I want y'all to understand. Let's be very, very clear. They want one of the top athletes on the planet. All right? These men must be in extraordinary physical shape. They should be like their ideal man is 6'7" or 7 foot preferred. All right? They have tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. All right? They have tons of influence. They're very famous. I mean, just who else? What other men in the United States, in the world, are tall as fuck, have a big dick, the size of Kevin Hart, all right? Have tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, have tons of fame and tons of influence. NBA players, there's no one else. There is no one else. Okay? Those are the only men that they can choose from. And even then, they have an attitude. Okay? There's no one else. All right? So when they're saying that they want a guy, they'll accept the guy who's 6'3" and makes, $500,000 a year. Guys, that's plan B. This is not their plan A guy. That's their plan B guy. They can't get their plan A guy, so they're settling for the plan B guy. Let's jump into this video.
52, as you guys know, but I think,
what did she say?
For me, 52, as you guys know, but I think my expectations may be too high, and I might need to bring it down a level or two. I don't know. I think social media has created this falsity of what a relationship should look like, what your partner should look like. And in turn, based upon that, we try to mimic that in the partner we're searching for. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts.
Well, it's better late than never. At least she has finally come to her senses and really has inflated her expectations of what to look for in a long-term partner.
It's unbelievable. Guys, I want you to look at this woman. This woman looks like she's about 40, all right? I mean, at 40 years old, you're finally realizing that Chad Roan is not going to date you, okay? You're finally realizing that you're not going to get that NBA player, okay? You're not going to get the NBA player. You're not going to get that guy who's worth $50 million, okay? Jay-Z doesn't want to go out with you. Jay-Z already has Beyonce, all right? I mean, like, y'all need to lower your expectations. So now what they're doing is like, okay, well, I still deserve nice things, so I'll settle for a millionaire, okay? He doesn't even have to be, he has to be, he's going to have to be a multimillionaire, but I'll settle for a millionaire. I mean, I deserve a man that makes, over $100 million a year, but I'll settle for a millionaire. And I'm like, over $100 million a year? Are you delusional? LeBron James, I mean, maybe LeBron is pulling $100 million a year. I mean, just scraping by right now. And it took a while for him to get there. I mean, that's like a maybe. And LeBron is at the very, very top of the pack. All right? Y'all think you're going to get LeBron James? LeBron James? Like, are you all delusional? Have y'all lost your mind? Guys, these women are so far disconnected from reality. They are so far disconnected from reality. Okay? Because the men that they want, the men that these women want, a lot of them barely even exist. Like there's a lot of women right now that want men that don't even exist. Like it's like basically build a beer workshop. Like not only is he supposed to be this tall. Like let's be real. Let's be real about this. Because if a woman can have, if she can have the exact guy that she wants, like because these women think they're being generous when they say that they want a man who's this and this and this. They think that they're being generous. They're just asking for the bare minimum. I told you about this chick that I knew that lived in Africa. She said 6'3" is the minimum, and he has to be thick, which means he has to be muscular. This guy has to be have money so he can take care of her. This guy's got to be rich. He's got to be built. He's got to be tall. He's got to be empathetic and kind and sweet and all kind and have all these other characteristics. Yes, and 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 she said these are just the bare minimum things that he must have to be with her. This is a girl who was living in a church, didn't even have a functional phone, is almost 30 years old. All right, got robbed by predators during the pandemic in Africa. They literally, you're like, guys, I used to work, basically when I started doing a lot of projects, I met this woman online, basically because I was looking for administrators to help me with different projects that I was working on. And she's one of the people that popped up and said that she helped, she's active in this space and blah, blah, blah. And initially I told her just go away, but she kept on popping up. So eventually I gave her work, and it's just like, I find out who you are and you're like, bro, you're not humble. You're not humble. Like you're out here suffering. Like some dudes literally held her up during the pandemic, made her go to the ATM and empty her bank account. All right. She was like living in a church at one point. Her father passed away. Her father passed away just almost a year after the pandemic. Her father passed away. Her mother is as elderly. And I think she has a brother who doesn't want to have anything to do with her. She's constantly getting scammed, like working for different thieves and different thieves in her country. She's in Nigeria, and it's a country of scammers, and she's constantly being scammed by scammers. And I'm like, bro, and she's like asking for help and like asking for she's actually asking me to sponsor her and bring her over on a visa. And I said, and what would I do that for? What would I do that for you? I was like seriously, what would you be giving me? All right, because you're like, you're gonna pay me an ass and labor? And she was like, no. I'm like, really? So what are you doing? What am I doing with you? And I said to her, I said I wouldn't do that, of course, because you turn around and say that, I trafficked you here, which I did not. All right, because you can just tell how these women are. So tell how these women are. And I was like, what makes you think that you deserve a man who is this tall and has all these qualities? What do you have to offer? She said, I'm ambitious and I'm hardworking and all this other crap. And I'm like, men don't care about these things. And she's educated and intelligent. Bro, men don't care about these things. All right? I said, listen, I was going to be honest with you. You're overweight. Okay? Can't cook, can't clean. You have nothing to offer. You have nothing to offer, man. And she basically laughed. She laughed, and she has not spoken to me since. Like she won't speak to me because I put her in her place. I literally put her in her place. Really, what do you have to offer? You have nothing to offer. You want the entire world. And she was like, I'm going to get everything that I want, and God is going to give it to me. She literally said, God is going to give it to her. God is going to give her delusion. Bro, you are living in poverty. Someone pointed out to me, though. Someone pointed out to me, and this is something I crossed my mind. How is she so overweight, but she's struggling financially? Like, don't get me wrong, she's not morbidly obese, but she's fat. She's got some weight on her. And a lot of these Africans, they're skinny as hell. So she's definitely finding a way to eat. There was a comedian on America's Got Talent, who won on Britain's Got Talent, and he won Britain's Got Talent. I think he was from Mali or Balia, the place where Madonna keeps adopting all her babies from. Madonna keeps adopting all those children from, something like that. And Maui, maybe it's Maui. Anyway, he said that he saw this beautiful woman who was big bone. We say big bone. She had a big body, and and she was crying because she said, people were calling her fat and blah, blah, blah. And he said that it was a miscommunication because where he comes from, when a woman is overweight, they think that it's wonderful because they're wondering where she got all the food from. Because if she can be that big, then clearly she's eating well. And someone pointed out to me, like, this girl, angry, if this girl is overweight, then she has to be eating well. And I thought about that, like, that's damn true. That is damn true. For her to maintain this body weight, she has to be eating. She has to be eating. But still, it's just like these women are out of their damn minds. They're out of their damn minds. Like, they think that they want NBA player that can run this many miles, stay on the court all night, have a dick as long as Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is a little man, but he's a big dick. They want a man with a dick his size. Like really, what are you doing with that? And that makes tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. What are you trying to do with that kind of money? Like, what are y'all trying to do with that kind of money? You want a man that makes hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. What are you trying to do with that kind of money? This is why they celebrated when Kevin Samuels passed away, all right? Because Kevin Samuels called these women out. This woman literally called in once, and she said she wants a man who makes $100,000 a year. And Kevin said to her, $100,000 a year, $100,000 a year, that's $300,000 in 3 years. He said, lady, what are you trying to do with that kind of money? What are you trying to do with $300,000? And she could not answer him. Guys, $100,000 over the course of 3 years. 3 years is not a lot of time. It's $300,000. What is a woman trying to do with that kind of money? Let's be realistic. What is she trying to do with that kind of money? $300,000 is a lot of money. What is she trying to do with that kind of money? The woman could not answer him. He caught her. All right? Because she's on some nonsense. Because you have a house, you have a roof over your head, you have clothes on your back, you have everything that you need. Like, seriously, you've got your iPhone, you've got your Apple Watch. I mean, you dress well, you eat well. What are you trying to do with $300,000? What are you trying to do with that kind of money? And this is really where these women are getting at, because they're looking for men to pay off their student loans. They're looking for men to take them on expensive vacations around the world because they want to travel. They're looking for men to pay for Prada purses, Louis Vuitton, and all kinds of expensive garbage that they don't need. And what they're also looking to do is they're looking for men who they're going to be able to extract massive amounts of wealth and resources from when they divorce them. Because I told you, she's already planning her exit before she plans the entrance. All right? The entrance is easy. It's getting out where she needs to stick the landing. Okay? Because she wants to make sure she's going to get as much as possible. These women suck at math, but when it comes to figuring out how to maximize child support, they become Albert Einstein. They start working equations to make sure that they maximize that child support. There was a woman who literally said that, it's better to have 6 baby daddies, right? It's better to have something like 6 baby daddies than it is to have one dad, one man that you have like 6 kids by. Because think about it like this. If you have one man that you have 6 kids by, eventually child support maxes out. So you can have one man and you're getting child support from this dude, and child support will max out at, let's say, like $600-700 a month. However, if you have 6 different men that you have six children by, so you got 6 children by 6 different men, then you can go and collect. You can go and collect like like 500, even $600, depending, for each of those men. So while you're maxing out your child support with one dude, when you have multiple children with multiple men, instead of getting $600-700 a month in child support from one man, you can now go and collect $3,400, even or $5,000 from all these different men. All right. So now you're collecting now she's collecting a salary. She is making a salary, and she's not spending that money on those kids. All right. She's not spending any of that money on those kids. And here's because the government's taking care of the kids. This is the saddest thing in the world. I want y'all to understand how these single mothers operate. They get all that money from child support from those kids. Now, what do they do with that money? What do? They spend it on themselves. How do those kids survive? Those kids are being fed from the state because they're collecting. Because those women who are on child support, they're likely getting food stamps as well. So, if they're getting food stamps, then they have a ton of kids. They're collecting hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars a month in food stamps. All right. So that's a lot of money in food stamps. It's a lot of kids, but it's a lot of money in food stamps. So they're stacking that money up. So their houses, they have tons and tons of food. All right. They're living off Section 8, so they're not paying anything. They don't pay anything in rent. So they're stacking money for food stamps. They're stacking money and they're living for free from Section 8 because that child support doesn't count as income. So they're paying nothing in rent. They're paying really nothing in rent. Section 8 or public housing. My God. Something a lot of y'all don't even know is that a lot of places that offer public housing now, they offer free internet. So a lot of these women are discounted internet. So these women are getting free internet. So they're not paying for internet. All right. So they have internet, not paying for internet. They have they're getting free phones because there's a thing called the ACP, Affordable Care Act. All right. So that covers $30 a month off internet or cell phone. So if where they're living, their internet is provided, they can take that credit, put it towards their cell phone bill. They'll get themselves a Metro PCS plan or whatever, and boom, they don't have to pay anything for their cell phone. So they have free internet, they have free internet, free cell phone, free housing, free food. Now I want y'all to follow along with me. Free food. Okay. The government also provides childcare. Okay. The government will also provide childcare. So if they need childcare, they can access childcare through the government. So when they want to go off and get their groove back, they can go and do that too. Get their back cracked. I mean, it's absolutely insane. They are living completely for free. They have no bills. They have the men going out there and paying them a salary, paying them a huge salary over the course of decades. Because when you add up the child support, the rent, the free utilities, because they're not paying in these places, they're not paying for electricity, they're not paying for water, they're not paying for anything. These women are getting away with murder. When you consider the cost of living, like how much it costs to even rent one of these places, right? The equivalent of a cost of rent and everything. When you do the math, these women are pulling between like $70,000 and $100,000 a year. Like their living expenses, that's like $70,000 to $100,000 a year in living expenses being subsidized. Think about that carefully. $70,000 to $100,000 a year in their living expenses being subsidized between the government and their man and these men that they're taking advantage of. And they do this for a long time. These women are making bank. So you guys, y'all don't do the math. You're not adding it up. These women are making bank, taking advantage of these men, using the government. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying these videos, I want you to go ahead and turn on notifications. I want you to go ahead and subscribe if you already haven't, and turn on notifications to never miss another video again. Also, please like the video if you already haven't liked the video, because it tells YouTube that, hey, YouTube, we're enjoying these videos and we want to see more of them. So when you like the video, YouTube will recommend more videos, and you'll see more videos of your suggested videos, and as well as on your homepage. Guys, what do you think about this? That women need to understand that the wall starts at 25 as men become password bros. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.